Perhaps the way forward, building on these youth programs, because again, locating it globally, we are also living in an age where nearly half of the world's population is young population, is below the age of 35. And in Pakistan, the number is far higher. 67% of Pakistanis are below the age of 30. More than half of Arabs are in the youth category. And in America, I think in a decade or so, the millennials or the young people will be the dominant demographic age group. But that also requires that in this time of Islamophobia, anxieties, stress, and the fear of violence and fear of exclusion, we have to kind of train our youth and make them far more engaged than perhaps historically our communities have been here. Because obviously most of us who are here are either economic migrants or other professional migrants, and that remains our sort of foremost priority. But I think given the way events are unfolding and even the sociological transformation is occurring, far more engagement is needed, not just in politics, but at a very local level. I've been just saying this because often a lot of focus of the diaspora has been to give back to the home country, which is also important, as Leila highlighted the example of a school and Dil, the education network works with Pakistani schools and TCF and many others, projects like that support home country. But I think there is also a greater need for engagement here, particularly at this critical time, and that is where I think some of our very well-qualified, well-placed diaspora lacks. I mean, look at the case of APNA, the North American Doctors Association, with thousands and thousands of members. I mean, it's a force to be reckoned with. I mean, with so much influence, clout, place in American society, but when it comes to some total of influence, it's not that influential, sadly. If you look at other communities, if you look at other religious or ethnic communities, in terms of both lobbying, in terms of both connecting with the American officials, that particular aspect is not as robust as it perhaps ought to be. And I think that is for the doctors among you would need to sort of think and revisit how can APNA be a far more engaged platform with the local United States politics. I think some people are bored with what I'm saying there, so I'll wind down my long speech. So I think that and then particularly also we have so many entrepreneurs, technology professionals, I mean both on the West Coast, and these sort of alliances are very important, and the influence over the American both politics and society is where we can be heard, and I think it's quite doable. In Europe, I mean, Leila herself embodies that particular case of finding a space, a place, and making your voice and your contribution heard and noted by the society. And I think that is something we also need to do with our younger generation, encourage them to look at politics, encourage them to look at media, journalism. Historically, I mean, one of the problems with the American media, mainstream media I'm talking about, is also the fact that it does not have enough representation of ethnic minorities. Only 8% of the total newsroom staff across America are people of color, persons of color. And in broadcast media, only 12% are persons of color. Perhaps you have to show people on TV, black or brown people, so you hire more. But imagine not being there, not being engaged, not being heard, and somebody else talking about our communities and about us and about what we believe in and what we don't believe in, or what we may understand about America. I think that is something that also needs to be looked at. Perhaps mentoring programs, coaching programs for the younger, high school students, for early freshmen, college students. I think that is one area where networks like COPA can play a very important role, because you have some remarkable professionals in your fold, and children do not like to be mentored by their parents, so they prefer other parents to tell them where to look at. So perhaps that's another way of moving forward with the agenda that makes our community, better place, more assimilated, and more productive and forward-looking in the contemporary American society. I think I'll just end with a few thoughts because we were having this discussion with the board and the advisory group yesterday about how Pakistani diaspora can help Pakistan. I already mentioned that there's a lot of focus on that, but I think one of the